Welcome to the 2015 Bike and Pedestrian Count, brought to you by the Thomas Jefferson Planning District Commission and its partners, the City of Charlottesville, Albemarle County, University of Virginia, and local bike and pedestrian advocates. These are instructions for the Free Bridge count. This is shown as number 9 on the map. This is one of the very important locations in the city and county. It is a gateway between the two jurisdictions. We've also done several transportation studies on this area. One recent study was the Ecological Project, where we looked at different transportation options for improving this connection between the city and the county. And we were looking to collect more bike and pedestrian information on exactly how many of those cyclists and pedestrians are crossing over the river between the two communities. This site, the Free Bridge, includes the US 250, and that is Long Street to the west, and it turns into Richmond Road to the east. It passes over the Rivanna River. Again, to the west is the city of Charlottesville, and east of the river is Albemarle County. It's one of their major growth areas, a lot of high-density residential uses, and a lot of employment areas in the city. That means a lot of traffic between those two areas. A few features to this site. There's access to the Rivanna River Trail on both the north and the south side of the roadway on the city side, where I'm recommending that volunteers stand at the western part of the bridge, just because it's a more comfortable place to conduct the counts. But we want to make sure that volunteers do not count traffic moving on and onto the trail, but only focus on traffic moving across the bridge, counting bikes and pedestrians. And here's a picture of Free Bridge looking east from the city side, and you can see there are sidewalks on both sides, but not any bike facilities. There's no bike lanes. So when you're here doing counts, you'll notice that most of the cyclists will probably be riding on the sidewalk, and we'll make sure to get that recorded on the forms. When conducting the count, we recommend that you stand on the southern corner of the intersection in the city. Again, we're only doing a screen count over the bridge. You can stand in other locations, but standing on the bridge leaves volunteers more exposed to the sun, and it's not quite as pleasant as the grassy area on this corner. But what you would do is, again, draw that imaginary line across the roadway. When you see a bike or pedestrian moving onto or off of the bridge, you will count that on the forms that you will either download or that we'll mail to you, to all the volunteers. This is a form for recording bicycle traffic on the bridge. You will see the screen line, the vertical line on this form. You will record the number of bikes traveling through this line, heading west or heading east. You can see to the top left the manner in which we ask you to record that data. If a cyclist should happen to meet one of the categories listed in the right of this form, we ask that you provide an additional tick mark in one of those areas to account for that activity. We also ask that you use a different form every 15 minutes when you collect this data. This 15-minute increment will help us break down the data into smaller time slots, giving us greater detail of these counts. When counting bikes, we're counting the number of people, not the number of bicycles. So in the example to the left, you'll see 2 individuals on a bike. They'll be counted as 2. On the right, you have 5 individuals on the bike, which includes an infant, and that will be counted as 5. Also, make sure to count any cyclists that are riding on the sidewalk. This is the form for collecting counts on pedestrians. Once again, we have our screen line, the vertical line going through the form. Any pedestrians passing through this imaginary line, we ask that you make those tick marks in the 2 tables. The pedestrians right to left, that would be heading west, and from the left to right, those pedestrians would be heading into the county over the bridge. Again, we ask that you conduct these every 15 minutes. Start a new form after those 15 minutes. This will give us data broken down by smaller time increments, giving us more detail. When recording pedestrians at this location, please include those in wheelchairs and those using assistive devices as pedestrians, as well as children and strollers. If someone is using equipment such as a skateboard or rollerblades, you can include that in the right side of the form under one of those categories. When you arrive at the site, you will want to have the count instructions with you, along with a location map and the forms in which to count the bikes and pedestrians. If you would like to borrow a clipboard, you can go to the TJPDC offices and sign one out. Also, make sure to have extra pens and pencils and business cards from the project manager, as you may have some individuals asking you for more information. Make sure to bring sunscreen, snacks, and water, as well as a watch or a cell phone to keep track of the 15-minute increments. Other tips, certainly make sure that you're safe. Safety is our number one priority. Also, it's good to arrive at the location 15 minutes before the count period. This gives you time to become familiar with the site and prepare for the count. Also, if someone is there wrapping up their time slot before yours, that gives you an opportunity to ask that other volunteer of any issues that they ran into or anything that made the counting more difficult for them. For more information, visit the project website. You can also go to the TJPDC offices at 401 East Water Street. The project manager is Will Cockrell. Here's his contact information. You can contact him with questions. For all the volunteers, we want to thank you. This is a very important effort, and collecting this data will help us make the Charlottesville-Albemarle area a more bike-friendly and pedestrian-friendly place. Thank you.